One of Canada's great satirists, comedian Don Ferguson, our guest, book out now, Air Farce, 40 Years of Flying by the Seat of Our Pants, tonight at the Walmart store in Port Coquitlam.
Port Coquitlam, that's right.
You'll be signing.
I'll be signing books, so come on out and I'll see you there, I'm sure.
You will, of course, by the greeter.
That's right.
I may be the greeter, the way things go in radio and TV. I may need a job, you never know. Mm-hmm.
Well, if so, I'm sure you'd be the head greeter.
Well, let's hope. Lou Bagoy.
Yes.
Tell me about her.
Everybody,
I've never met Lou Bagoy.
No.
Mary Walsh, never Lou Bagoy.
Yeah, Luba is, she's unique. She's, what can I say about her that you can't already imagine? People often say, what's Luba really like? Well, yeah. She's really like what you see. John Morgan used to say of Luba is comedy. Everything she does, she makes funny.
When her parrot died?
Oh, isn't that an incredible story?
Yeah.
She showed up in the office and she was habitually late. It's part of, her.
Like Roger.
Yes, I guess. I don't know, but I think Luba, it's more just this lack of organization and bad luck, but it seemed to be frequent, cabs were late or the streetcar broke down or something happened or the plane, I don't know. But this one day she showed up at the office and it was like, what's your excuse this time? She said, the parrot died.
We shouldn't
what?
laugh.
Oh, I know. She said, what? Well, she had this parrot. I don't know if it was called Petey or something. And what do you mean it died? Well, the cat ate it.
That happens.
Oh, I know. Apparently, Luba came home, and there was no Petey. There was a cat that seemed to be looking at her like, "Hey, I had a good afternoon. How about you?" And there were a few feathers on the floor, and all she ever found. All she ever found was the head, and she didn't know what to do with it. So she put it was because it was winter, so she wanted to bury it in the garden. So she left it in the barbecue until spring.
No.
Yeah, but anyway, that's why she was late. So
you don't have a steak at Luba's, no, because the parrot could still be in the barbecue. Who knows? But I suspect, and you write about it in Air Farce, that you enjoy it when things go a little bit wrong in a sketch.
Yes.
For all those 40 years, on the radio or on television, something just screws up.
That's right. Well, that opening clip we saw of the chicken cannon, that's exactly what happened there. It was the target was supposed to be screwed to a wall, fixed on, and then we would hit it. Yeah. But what happened? We ran out of time at rehearsal, so our director said, Perry Rosemont, he said, screw it. Get an easel, put it on an easel. We haven't got time. So we got an easel, and the special effects guy had never charged the cannon, they never test fired it for us. So he didn't want to have it underpowered. So he made sure it was overpowered. And of course, when we hit the target, things went flying all over the place. That's what broke us up. It's what broke the audience up. And I remember thinking at the time, don't over-rehearse anything, because you've got to save room for spontaneity. You've got to make sure that accidents can happen, because in comedy nothing is ever really bad. Like anything that doesn't go according to plan is funny.
Right. Sure.
Let's face it.
Where's the sound effects guy when you need him?
Yeah, we had a great sound effects guy in radio. Our first guy, Alex Sheridan, he wanted to be an actor himself once. After he died, his wife told me he died tragically in a car accident. He got killed by a drunk driver. It was awful.
Yes, awful.
His wife told me that he had actually, as a young man, had gone down to New York and had tried to find work as an actor. And he had never told us that. But he was so theatrical.
Yeah, he got it.
For radio, we always had him. He had an equal space on the stage with the actors. And he had a big setup. It was like bigger than your desk area here. And he had car doors and windows that slid open, sashes that flew open and flew down, and house doors that opened, and bells that tinged. And he loved... he had a teapot with water. Remember, he had to pour any water. He made a big gesture out of it. It was just an amazing thing. But he could do all the things, coconuts for the horses' hooves. And,
I'll just cough while you talk.
Okay, that's fine. Well, you can keep coughing, because you probably realize by now I can keep talking.
Thank goodness you can, or you can fire the chicken cannon at me. 58 times that cannon was fired.
Was it? I don't know.
I read that.
Oh, yeah.
Jan Arden fired it once?
Yes, she did. Yes. Jan was a great guest. We had her in one New Year's to do the chicken cannon fire.
Right.
I think it was New Year's. And I had met her before, and I always thought, Jan is this musical artist, and she's going to be, I'm going to be very polite and that kind of thing.
Right.
And she comes in, and it's like talking to the kid next door, except she's got a better sense of humor than any of us have, and she's willing to do anything You know, she loved like getting her hands dirty. She just was really into it.
She is one great broad.
She is.
She really is.
She is fabulous. Yes.
She should have her own show.
She should.
What happened to Air Farce? CBC cancel it?
Well, no, we don't.
Budget consideration.
I think it was partly budget. We don't like to use the word canceled. We like to use the word pre-fired.
How about refurbished?
Refurbished.
Yeah, pre-fired.
Well, but see, everybody on
retired.
Well, everybody on contract is pre-fired because when your contract ends, they just happen not to renew it.
Right.
You know, so that's the way it's done.
Not like a resource. We have renewable resources.
Yes. No, the good thing about CBC did is that when they wanted to end the show, because they want to do other stuff, they said, but come back and do 10 half hours in the fall so you can have a good farewell to your audience, which was so great, because usually what happens is the show ends in the spring, and then you find out you're not coming back next year. And you never get a chance to actually say to the audience, thank you, for having watched us all these years. You just disappear.
So that's a noble farewell.
It was really,
Perhaps.
we were very grateful for it.
Do you miss it? Do you miss the touring?
I love being here. I love being, here in Vancouver and here talking to you. And that's always been so much part of the fun. I don't miss the traveling. I like not having to get in airplanes and live in airports, and I like not staying in hotels and eating hotel food. Because no matter how hard they try, it's never as good as being at home. And I'm getting on too. It's doing a series for year after year after year, and one that's where you had to work as hard as we did, because we weren't playing the same character every week like the way you do a sitcom. You'd show up on Monday and you had no idea what you were doing on Thursday.
Well, you'll get work. Don't worry about it. you can do that Addicted to Love sketch with Bill Clinton. When you did Addicted to Love. Loved that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Great
Don
to see
Ferguson with Roger Abbott, the late lovely Roger Abbott. Air Farce, 40 years of flying by the seat of our pants. He'll be signing at the Walmart in Port Coquitlam tonight.